My CEO cut our healthcare to fund his mistress, so I broadcasted his $50,000 fraud to his lawyer wife. I was standing offstage in the suffocating darkness of the ballroom wings, my thumb hovering over the heavy plastic button of the presentation remote, watching my CEO lie to 500 terrified employees. In exactly 10 seconds, the massive high-definition LED screen behind his smug, perfectly tanned face was going to display the exact financial coordinates of his 24-year-old mistress, and I was going to burn his $15 million golden parachute to absolute ash. If you have never worked in the forensic auditing department of a Fortune 500 tech firm during a period of mass layoffs, you cannot possibly comprehend the atmosphere of pure, distilled terror that infects the building. My name is Aliyah, and my job is to follow the money. I track the digital footprints of every single dollar that enters and exits our corporate accounts. For the past 6 months, my entire department had been living under the tyrannical boot of our CEO, a man the business press affectionately dubbed Mr. Efficiency. We called him Richard. Richard had spent the last month on a highly publicized, ruthless warpath. He was systematically gutting our company from the inside out, claiming it was strictly necessary to ensure our lean survival in a brutal, unforgiving economic market. The human cost was devastating. I watched the heat rising in my neck and my vision went blurry with rage every time I walked past the break room. Just last Thursday, I found Sarah, our senior data analyst, sitting at a plastic table, her shoulders shaking violently as she pressed a crumpled, tear-soaked tissue to her face. Richard had just unilaterally slashed our employee healthcare benefits, completely eliminating the premium tier. Sarah's out-of-pocket costs for her daughter's insulin had instantly quadrupled. Later that same afternoon, Richard sent out a coldly worded, company-wide email officially canceling all department bonuses for the fiscal year. He told my specific auditing team that we could not afford the basic software license renewals required to do our jobs. He demanded sacrifice. He demanded absolute austerity. I was working a grueling, mandatory Sunday shift to finalize the quarterly audit. The 14th floor was a silent, fluorescent-lit tomb. The only sound was the low, mechanical hum of the HVAC system and the rapid, rhythmic clacking of my mechanical keyboard. My dual monitors cast a harsh, blue glow across my empty desk. I was running a standard reconciliation protocol on the executive expenditure accounts, matching the raw ledger data against the approved corporate budgets, when my proprietary tracking software flagged an anomaly. It wasn't a massive, glaring red error. It was a subtle, highly methodical repetition. Forensic accounting is rarely about catching someone stealing $1 million all at once. It is about catching someone stealing $1,000 1,000 times. I isolated the data string and pulled up the raw transaction history for the CEO's executive black card. There it was, a recurring line item, meticulously coded under the vague, unassailable category of strategic consulting services. $5,000. Charged every single Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. I expanded the timeline parameters, dragging the search criteria back through the archives. The charges didn't stop. They extended backward in a flawless, unbroken chain for exactly 2 years. $500,000, funneled entirely into a single vendor account listed as Apex Synergies LLC. A cold, heavy block of lead materialized in my gut. I routed my terminal connection through the state's secure corporate registry portal, bypassing the standard public search interface to access the unredacted, original articles of incorporation for the consultancy firm. Apex Synergies LLC was a textbook shell company. It had no public-facing website, no listed board of directors, and absolutely zero digital footprint outside of the state registry. The registered business address wasn't a commercial office park. It was a residential unit. Specifically, it was a luxury penthouse suite in the most expensive, exclusive high-rise building in the downtown financial district. I didn't stop there. I pulled up the city property tax records and cross-referenced the building's tenant registry. The name attached to the penthouse lease flashed onto my screen, and I felt the blood physically drain from my face. The tenant was Chloe, our company's 24-year-old brand ambassador. If you think this is just a cliché story about a sleazy boss funding his midlife crisis, you have no idea how deep this corporate rot actually goes. By Sunday evening, this single spreadsheet anomaly is going to trigger a $15 million public execution. I am about to uncover a plagiarized paper trail, a twisted family bribery ring keeping him in power, and a hijacked stage presentation that broadcasts his fraud to 500 terrified employees and his cutthroat, divorce attorney wife. For a full version, follow on-screen instructions.